Welcome to the Beauty Beyond Bella podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Yvette Suarez, owner and medical director of Bella Excellence, a diamond accredited anti-aging med spa in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. On this show, we explore the latest trends in health, beauty, and anti-aging medicine while celebrating the inspiring journeys and achievements of our guests. Well, I am here today with the lovely Ann Madsen. Thank you so much for coming in. She is the executive director of Center for Women, which I had the privilege of going to an event. I think it's been 7 or 8 years ago now.
Yes.
And absolutely loved it. Introduced me to this field. Well, John introduced me to this lovely lady. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about Center for Women, and we're going to dive down into all these different little things that are really going on for the community and how important that's going to really be. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. And John has been such a great ambassador for us. And he chaired that event, I believe. He called our Gourmet Festival, which is coming up again this year, August 7th. And this year's theme is Almost ABBA. So we're going to have Dancing Queen and all that good music. So you'll have to come back.
That's definitely our area. And I loved ABBA.
Yes, for sure. Makes you want to do.
We will see there.
Very good. So we hold that event, and because the Center for Women is consistently recognized as one of the best nonprofits in Tampa Bay. And we were founded in 1977 by the late Helen Gordon Davis, who's really an icon and champion for women. And she wanted really to help women have happier lives and lead more fulfilling lives and find a path to economic prosperity. And that was in the late 70s. And we've come a long way, but we are needed more today than we were then. And women are turning to us for help in record numbers. We help women to find jobs and start businesses and get mental wellness counseling. And we help low-income seniors by doing emergency repairs and retrofits. This past 2 years ago, we added women's leadership programming to teach women how to advance in their careers.
Look, that's so important. I think there's nothing wrong with charities, right? We want to give as much as we can. But not only are you giving to these women, but you're helping them help themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's not an easy concept.
No, it isn't, because many of the women that we serve have barriers to success. They may not be able to write a resume. They may not know how to find a job, which I find intriguing in these times, that women have advanced so much, and yet there are those that have challenges. I think this year, more than any other year, I've heard from women who are afraid of losing their homes because they've lost their jobs, and the economy has been tough on women.
It really has been.
Yes.
Well, I think the economy is up on everyone, right? With inflation and all the pricing. I try to tell my children this all the time, that even with 2 good incomes in a home, it's really hard to pay all your bills.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really hard. So now these women who are losing their jobs, and we all know how we try to be the best at everything, right? We try to be a good wife. We try to be a good mother. We try to be a good employee. It's really, really difficult. How is the Center for Women helping them prop up and teaching them these leadership roles?
Well, we do a series of virtual training, and we give them different topics on leadership, how to deal with difficult situations, how to really build confidence so you can move ahead. I think the lack of confidence for some women is really what holds them back. So we have a variety of experts come in. You'll have to come in and really talk about leadership and the challenges that people overcome and how to do that. So how to speak in public settings. A lot of women can't find their voice. And I remember when I was young, somebody said to me, you're too old to worry about speaking in public. And from that moment on, I can speak in public. So I think it's just getting that sense of confidence and helping women to get that.
I know. I think that's so interesting. And I think about where I am now and where I started. And you're so right. I came from a background, both my parents are immigrants, and they came to this country with nothing. They didn't even finish 6th grade. And my generation was the first generation to even make it to college. And we didn't know any better. My father always instilled in us, and my mom, that, you can do whatever you want in this world and you have to just try really hard. But there was a lot of barriers. Absolutely. And just like these women, I felt
I was a little behind the ball. I didn't have somebody to help me with my homework that understood the language well or help me do my projects, right? It was kind of we fended for ourselves. But it instilled in us a sense of perseverance. Like I knew that I had to do more and I had to do better than everyone else around me because I didn't have the same privilege of everyone else. But that was really hard, I think. But I've learned a lot from it. And I always believe that God puts us in our pathway for some particular reason. And that was just my pathway to really learn, to grow, and to really give back to the next generation. I remember when I applied for med school, I never thought I could get in. Like, you know, I came from nothing. I didn't know anything. And even though I did well in school, I had to go back and make sure I did all the research and all the stuff I had to go in. And it was a really difficult platform. And I always wanted to go back, and I always told them. And back then it was called UNDJ, and now it's called Rutgers Medical School.
Oh, really?
And I said, I want to go back and talk to the next generation. I want to let them know that even though you come from nothing, you can be whatever you want. And you have that. You have that in you. You just have to put your head down and do some hard work and persevere.
You know, that's such a good message. And I think so many women need to hear that message. So we'll have to be talking about that more. The women we serve in counseling and wellness, I will tell you that 38% make less than $14,000 a year. So can you imagine trying to survive on that, particularly if you're a single mom and have children? It's really tough.
Possible.
It is.
It really will. And I think that's why they work 2 or 3 jobs.
Absolutely.
And look, we do whatever we can to make our kids and give them whatever we can, but that's almost impossible. And the stress that these women put on themselves to get that done. I don't think everyone knows about your mental wellness program, which I'm so impressed by. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Since the inception of the Center for Women, we had 2 core programs. One is Success Strategies for Employment, and the other is Counseling and Wellness. And we do the preventative type of counseling. We help people who are dealing with everyday issues, such as anxiety, depression, job loss, grief, whatever they might be going through. And since the pandemic, we were just inundated with requests for help. And as I mentioned, so many of the people we serve have such low incomes that they couldn't even afford the deductible for insurance. And so we were very fortunate. I hold women's leadership luncheons, and Representative Kathy Castor came to one. And I was talking about the need to support counseling and wellness. We had absolutely no funding for our program. And I said, we've got to get funding for this because it's too important. And she heard me and she said, Ann, I'm going to try to get a member item for you. So she was successful in getting a member item for $1.2 million so that we could open. Thank you. Immediately made the world of difference. Now I just need another 1.2 more. Or 2. 2 would be good. And so we opened the Kathy Castor Center for Counseling and Wellness. And now we're able to provide free counseling to everyone from adolescents to senior citizens, and we don't charge it there. So all they have to do is make an appointment, no matter who you are. We don't do income testing or anything like that. We just want to be a resource to the community, help people.
Oh my God, I love that so much. We know, everyone knows somebody that needs that. Absolutely. I can think of multiple people, like I'm calling them today, but letting them know to go down there and get some counseling, because you're right. And look, we know that anyway, most health insurances do not cover counseling.
Right?
They just don't. And there are so many people that don't know how to maneuver their lives to get into a healthy space. And sometimes it's just that having that positive influence, that mentor, which they could be there to really help them do that. I absolutely love that in today's world where mental well-being is such a problem.
It truly is. And you could see it in everybody. You know, everybody is dealing with something else. And in the past few years, there's been a lot of effort around raising awareness and erasing the stigma of mental wellness. And so while that's been done, not enough money has gone into direct services so that people need the help, but they don't have places to go where they can afford it. So we're thrilled with this. Our center is flourishing. And in addition to helping people, we are also training the next cohort of therapists. There's a shortage of counseling and wellness therapists. And so we teach interns and help them get their accreditations so that they can go on. It's kind of passing it forward, you know.
I hope that.
Yes.
I hope that. Look, you're empowering women to be leaders. You're empowering women how to be successful in their own right, to be able to support their family, to be able to support themselves, and giving them the capability of really helping them mentally prepare for that.
It's so true. And women historically also have been pretty low wage earners. So when they retire or want to retire, they don't have the capacity to do that. So we're trying to get people to the next level so that they have a good earned income.
Yeah, right? Little business classes, how to save, how to invest, how to support yourself. I don't think a lot of women get that. And even honestly, in high schools and in college, I don't think that was ever really taught. I know I wasn't taught any home ec or anything like that of how to be successful in life.
No, they didn't do that.
They did not.
They carried us out on an apron and take you how to make a casserole.
That is how you could think I learned how to tie. Yes, there was. Gosh, that was terrible. We had typewriters then. These kids are different. My son's going to hear this. He always called me a boomer. I'm going to hear about this later on my type comment for sure. That's not funny, Austin. Don't make fun of mom. But look, you need to give women these tools. And like you said, they come from all different pathways.
They do.
So we definitely need to put this contact in there. I want to be able to have people reach out. I literally just had this conversation with someone else, a dear friend of mine, who went to the hospital this week for mental illness and trying to figure out how to get better. And it's really hard, I think, for people to really help others, right? Medically, I feel like we're very good. We can give you medical scripts. We can really help you through that journey. But that stigmatism of the mental health and not letting people know until it's almost too late that you're in trouble, right? Is how do we get them to understand to get help earlier on?
Well, I think it's really about education and raising awareness about it. And our therapists are out in the community talking with different groups, different age groups. And while we're the Center for Women, we serve everybody, men, women, and adolescents, because really it's all about building happy families across Tampa Bay.
I love that. So if you're able to start with adolescents right now, right, we know that unfortunately suicide's a big issue. Bullying is a big issue. Yes. Social media is a big issue. And so if we can teach these adolescents early on some good things to focus on and not be so hard on themselves by trying to be perfect for the rest of the world, I think you'll do a lot more change.
It's so important, and that's really where it starts. So, yeah, so I'm happy that we are helping in that regard as well. We work with the schools, and we work with everyone. We're good partners, and
You are partners.
collaborators in the community.
Yeah, we need to get some more funding, I think.
It's always the challenge for a nonprofit, and I will tell you, it's harder and harder every year. Every year is a new year, and you have to start all over. So, yes, that's important for us.
Yeah. Well, loving to hear these testimonies for all the people that you helped. And I think each one of them can pass it forward.
Yes.
And that's how you're really going to get the word out there and understand that everyone's in the same boat and everyone has the same issues.
The Formula Wellness 4 cornerstones are nutrition, functional wellness, aesthetics, and brain health. These serve as a guide rail for individuals that are pursuing longevity inside and out. Formula Wellness is setting the new benchmark in preventative healthcare and aesthetics. Thank you for all of your support. To learn more, please visit www.formulawellness.com.
We talked a little bit earlier today about, people look at the outside and they think you have your stuff together and they think you have no problems in the world because you don't show your feelings. But I think it's important to everyone to know that nobody's perfect. That everybody goes through a season of turmoil.
I think that's so true. And I often write blogs, and one of them was about, everybody is going through something. And that's what I discovered. I think this is my 13th year at the Center for Women. And everybody is going through something. Either they have a relative that's struggling, or they're struggling, or they know a friend who's struggling. So I'm really happy to be at the center where we can make an impact.
And you have some really amazing people that come in and do talks. You invited me to our last one that we got to sit. And I want you to tell me a little bit about that amazing woman and then what you have coming up.
But we're so lucky when Helen Gordon Davis, the founder, was in her late 80s, and I had just arrived at the center. I said to her, Helen, I want to start a celebration that pays tribute to your leadership and all that you've accomplished. And I want to honor a national honoree. Who would you like to have come in, Helen? And she said, without blinking an eye, she would like Gloria Steinem. Helen was a champion for women and an old school feminist, and her idol was Gloria Steinem. And so I called Gloria Steinem and invited her to come, and she came. We sold that event out in 3.5 days, and that was 10 years ago. And since then, we have had such wonderful women come in. You were at the event with Sheila Johnson.
I was.
Sheila Johnson, co-founder of Black Entertainment Television, and she owns the Salamander Collection, which is a group of golf resorts. And she's a serial entrepreneur. She has a lot of different businesses, and she has an interest in 3 professional teams. She is the most down-to-earth person I've ever met. And we honored her right after Gloria Steinem. We honored Sheila at our Ways of Change. And she came back last year because she had written a book and wanted to support the Center for Women. So she came back. This year for Ways of Change, which is our fundraising luncheon in celebration of women, we have Brooke Shields, who's written a new book that is, Brooke Shields is not allowed to get old.
Definitely in my heels. I can relate.
And that's January 24th, so you'll have to come to that.
Yes, definitely.
It's going to be great. It's going to be at the convention center, and we're expecting a packed house for that one. Every year we also honor a local woman, and this year it's Dr. Moira Burke, who is a retired ophthalmologist, and she's a humanitarian and a clinical professor. And I don't think there's an organization, a nonprofit in Tampa that hasn't received a contribution from Dr. Burke. She's just a very generous person. So she's thrilled, and we're thrilled to honor her.
Well, I think by you honoring these women also shows other women the capacity that everyone could do this.
Yes.
Right? We always think we're limited in what we can give, and we talk about all the time. Whether it's not only just giving money, but a smile and a hand and a contribution and showing up, right? You don't have to only give money. You need to show up. You need to be part of that event. You need to be supportive to all the other women in there. And you're inspiring everyone else, right? We sat there and I listened to her talk, and I'm like, man, all the stuff she went through with, her ex-husband. And I'm like, oh my God, I can relate, right? We all go through these turmoil in our lives. And I'm thinking, man, we need to push forward. We can't take a step back if something bad happens to us, right?
No, you can't.
Make us stronger and push through.
Absolutely. I think that's so important. And because you run into times in your life where things are challenging, and yes, you just have to push through. I always tell my team, good day, bad day. We just had a bad day, but tomorrow's going to be a really good day. And almost inevitably it is.
We just talked about good day, bad days, right? Oh, there's days that we're filled, right? And then we can give to everyone else. And there's days that we feel empty, and then we need to be refilled.
That's so true.
And that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. We're so hard on women that we have to be our best every day. We have to be everything to everyone. And so, trying to do my rule of saying no 20% of the time has not worked out well for me yet. I'm really working on that. That's my thing for the new year, is to say no and try to have more time for myself and do the things I love. I think we all fixate, right? I fixate on work. Work has always been my passion. And I always tell my kids, Bella was my third baby, and I spent a lot more time with Bella than my own kids. So I was a single mom, and I'm so sorry, kids, but I'm glad you turned out really well, and I love you. But it is, we fixate and we try to be the very, very best. And I've learned now to, at least for me, is to fill my cup. I constantly try to fill my cup with prayer that I could be ready to help the next person, right? That I need to be my very best so that I can give them something. Because when you're empty, it's really hard to give yourself.
It's true. It's like they say, put your oxygen mask on first so you can help other people. I think that's so true. And I think women just typically carry a lot of guilt. All of us who are professional women, you make sacrifices, but for me, it's always been family first. And I think it's important. So if my kids call and I'm in a meeting, I take the call. I don't care. When we can, it's sure take the call. So, yeah.
I love that. And I think we learn that as we get older, but when we're parents, we don't always do that. I think that's why grandparents do so much better. Yep, already learned, and we understand that that family comes first. But when you're in the grind, I think it's hard for women to remember to balance. And there's no such thing as full balanced lives. We all say we're going to have balance, but that's, I think, an inaccurate statement for us to try to achieve.
I always believe, I hear all the time, oh, you can't have everything. Well, I believe you can. Just give up dusting, just don't wait up, saw things,
Well, that's giving up something, right? That's perfect. When I was doing my laundry yesterday, if I could remember that and make someone else do my laundry for me, that would be great. And some more time. Tell John. I'm going to tell them, no. My rule in my home is everyone does their own laundry now. Oh, I'm only responsible for my laundry. Oh, that's bad. Everyone. The kids do their own laundry. John does. Everyone has to do their own laundry because I always tell people there's not enough time in the day. The neighbor around after. Oh, well, that sounds like a terrible mom, but that's my rule, and that's okay. I'm sticking with that rule. Yes. So you gotta tell me a little bit. I don't know if you know a lot about Brooke Shields' book, and we're not allowed to get old, and I think that's gonna be interesting because in my profession, being the aesthetic and wellness world, people do look at us like that, right? That is, God forbid, I have a line or I do anything else wrong that I'm not following the trend, right? I do it for myself and I don't do it for anyone else to feel and look my very best. But I could kind of almost think I'm going to be able to relate to her book. And I think actresses probably have a bigger problem than I do.
I think they do. And she's turning 60, and that's why she wrote the book. I have not read the book yet. It's not been released yet. So I'm waiting for the advanced copy to read that book. So I can't wait to do it.
Yeah. And she's a tall, beautiful specimen.
Oh, my goodness.
So I have to tell you a funny story. I think I told you a little bit. So I have these thick brows, and I'm going to thank Brooke Shields for it. Because when I was younger and Brooke came out, she had these amazing thick eyebrows, right? And the hair. And then everybody stopped over plucking and over waxing because she was out. So I felt like I had really big caterpillars in high school and in college, and that kind of helped me at least have my brows today and not over pluck, because that was not a thing. I didn't grow up when everybody had the pencil brows. So when I see her, I'm gonna so thank her that everyone's all letting me over wax.
That's important. I think she's made an impact on a lot of women, but I haven't heard that yet. So you're the one.
The eyebrows. I'm gonna really thank her for this. Now, tell me a little bit about the festivals that we went to, the gourmet festivals, because that's another thing that you really support a lot of great causes.
Yes, we always have so much fun doing that. And we have 35 different restaurants and beverage purveyors come in. We have, I believe, one of the best silent auctions in Tampa. And this year, our entertainment is going to be phenomenal. It's a tribute band for ABBA, and it's called Almost ABBA. And so the theme this year is having the time of your life. And I think it's just going to be so much fun. Last year, we had a tribute to Jimmy Buffett. People loved it, but they said, we want more dancing. So we said, okay, here comes ABBA.
Oh, those definitely dancing shoes. And you're going to have a whole area out there for us to dance?
Yes.
Would that be fun? That's going to be fun.
Yes.
I remember the event was very, very crowded. It has an enormous turnout, which was amazing. And I do agree with you that I remember the year that John hosted, our silent auction was pretty amazing.
It was amazing.
We're signing up for everything. Oh, good. We'll come down and do that again. Do that again. And we got photos and we had our booth, and it was a lot of work. And you know what? It was a great camaraderie. I remember that year I brought my staff with me, and it was really great. It was a great time to socialize with your friends and your coworkers, and it was just an ability to really support a great cause.
Yeah, so we call it Tampa's Best Party. So we just want everybody to have a good time. I always feel if you have a fundraiser, you want to put the fun in it. You really just do. So you'll find that with the festival this year.
I love that. You got to put the fun in fantastic place. I think and look, there's a lot of them that are great charities, and they're very subdued, and they're very official, and like some of us, we just want to have a little fun.
Doesn't everybody want to have fun? And nobody wants to go to an event. They all want to go to a party. Let's go to a party.
Could be lopper party. We're going to have a little girls fun, happy fun. That your next year's theme. Okay, I just came up with next year's theme for sure. But I love this. I want to keep thanking you for all the things that you're doing. I hope this continues well. I think you said it's been about 50 years, 1970.
1977, yes, in 2 years we'll be having our 50th anniversary.
It'll be amazing.
So we'll have to have a big party for that, for sure.
An enormous party.
Yeah.
We need to have everyone come out and do something spectacular that day. So we're going to have to plan ahead for that because, we all have to plan. We all get a little busy and we all get a little hectic and we want to make sure. And I always tell people, look, we live in a very busy world. We all say we're busy. We're all busy in a different way. That doesn't mean that we can't take the time to go to things that are really important and they're going to make an impact in Tampa Bay.
Oh, absolutely. It makes such a difference to the nonprofit community that people come out and support us. We would not be able to do what we do without the community. It really makes a difference.
So if you had to give some advice to the women out there, because you offer so much, what would you tell women out there that you think they need to hear?
Well, I think everyone's an individual, and I think the beauty of the Center for Women is that we're not an institutional type of place. We're designed to be welcoming, where people can feel safe and comfortable. And so I tell them to just get in touch with us because we can help, or if they want to help us, we welcome that too.
I love that. I love that. So, for Beauty Van Bella, we always ask the last question, and that is, what does beauty mean to you?
I think it's beauty to me means just person. You don't have to have the most gorgeous features like Brooke Shields. But if you're a good person and a nice person, that's what's beautiful to me.
I love that. We all look like Brooke, though.
Yeah, she's prefer to look like her.
I'd like to be your fan. We can't look like her.
And look, and I didn't even talk to Ann about this. We're matching.
Yes.
And I just say amazing. We were in sync. We knew what we were going to do. We planned this ahead of time. No, we didn't. But again, we're going to be there for her events. We will give you more information as it gets closer. And, again, we're here to support other women. Women need to support women. And I think that always needs to be forefront. We are non-judgmental. We are happy for our sisters. We need to hold hands and build everyone up. And I think that's going to be super important.
That's a great message. So true.
Thank you. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming to West Chase and seeing us here.
I love it here. Great space.
Thank you. Thank you. We loved having you with us, and we can't wait to come to your event.
Thanks so much.